Oh man. So what has my coach? What has my coach and y'all's pastor? You're not your pastor? Their pastor? So what has my coach and their pastor been up to? Not much of anything, is that right? Has he been putting out his P2P nodcasts? You say I already know that he's been putting them out? All right, okay, all right. All right, so what has he been talking about in the nodcast? He went on a 3 nodcast stint. He went on a 3 nodcast spree of ranting about his haters. Is that right? He had the one nodcast where he was talking about learning to appreciate his haters. Is that right? And then he had another one where he was talking about his haters trying to take him down, or the enemy trying to take him down. Is that right? And then I guess he had another one where he was talking about trying to go from the prison to some sort of palace. And I'm like, okay, all right. That one must be good, because I'm sure that he's not going to tape a nodcast in front of that raggedy old truck or that raggedy old excursion talking about it being a palace. All right. Hopefully he's not going to do that. And then hopefully he's not going to have that sardine can of a mobile home in the background and claim that it is a palace. I hope not. I surely hope not. He did. Not directly. Okay, but he moved from the prison to the penthouse or the palace. Is that right? Sardine can of a single wide that he's going to eventually attach a porch to. Okay, he's going to attach a covered porch to it. He'll eventually enclose the porch, and he'll say that, well, that's our extra living space. He'll say, boys, get used to it. Now you have a play area. Now you have an interior play area. Is that right? But he was talking about somehow going to a palace. Interesting enough. Yes. I'm sure there are plenty of viewers that live in trailers. There are plenty of viewers that live in mobile homes. There are plenty of them out there. But I'm sure that none of them, none, and I mean none of them would claim that they live in a palace. Okay, and that's just like him looking at that raggedy old driveway, that broken down driveway, and claiming that it looks beautiful. Okay, on the one hand he says the driveway looks beautiful, and then on the other hand he says, well, I need to raise it up by a couple of feet. Okay, it floods. Okay, the boys can't ride their bicycles on it anymore. Human beings cannot walk on the driveway anymore. Megan definitely can't walk on it. But somehow it's beautiful. Somehow it's fine, but I want to improve it. All right. How about making it into a true driveway? Okay. What else? So what else has he been up to? He invited another contractor out to the farm. Is that right? Did he invite him, or did he have to climb the gates? He actually invited the guy. Who was it? It was Mr. Gary. Okay, the guy that cleared out the trees from the Woodlands property. Is that right? Okay, so he came out to the farm. Is that right? And so Tim was having him provide some type of quote on repairing or improving the driveway. We'll say repairing the driveway. Actually, it's repairing the driveway or creating a real driveway. And so I guess Mr. Gary was going to give him a quote on that. Is that right? Now, did he ask Mr. Gary for the blueprints? Did he ask him for the blueprints? Because if he asked Mr. Gary for the blueprints, and if he asked him to give him a material list to go along with the blueprints, and if he asked him to list every single nut and bolt on that driveway improvement / creation, okay? Okay, if he asked for all those things, all right, first of all, there's no blueprint needed for a driveway, okay? But my coach, being who he is, with his current education level, of course, he thinks a blueprint applies to everything. Okay, when Megan makes up her shopping list, I'm sure he said, well, Megan, let me add a couple more things onto your blueprint. Let me add, right? I know in this video that I'm going to give my reaction to, I know he's talking about some honey-do list. And I'm sure he was like, well, Megan, okay, I'm going to work on this project. I'm going to work on that project. I won't complete any of them, by the way, but I'll work on this project. I'll work on that project. And then after that, I'll work on the next project on the blueprint. On the blueprint. So pretty much everything is a blueprint. Is that right? Okay, all right. But now, so we know that if he asks Mr. Gary for a quote, he's really trying to get just the details. He's really trying to find out how much materials he's going to need. Is that right? And I'm sure he picked Mr. Gary's brain about what type of equipment he would use and how he could best go about putting in those culverts or what have you. I'm sure he went about doing all of that. My coach, being who he is, he's absolutely going to go about doing that project himself. All right. Even though he admitted that he did not do it correctly the first time. And he had to do subsequent repairs and patch jobs on it. Even though he admitted that, he is better off leaving it to a professional. Okay. When it comes to the expenditure, I'm sure that he's going to eventually decide to do it himself. And which means that it's going to be yet another half-done job, yet another insufficient job. Okay, so we can look forward to more flooding of that driveway area in the future. Okay, and boys, those boys will be teenagers. Okay, they'll be 15, 16 years old. They will have graduated from high school. Okay, little Noah will only be like 12 or 13. 12. Okay, well, those boys will be 12 through 16. They will have graduated from high school, okay, before that driveway is truly repaired and truly functional, all right? But we know he's going to go in and he's going to do that job himself. We know he's trying to hustle Mr. Gary out of his blueprint, a.k.a. materials list, a.k.a. project completion strategy. We already know it. We see it coming, all right? We see it coming. But all right, what else? Has he been up to anything else? He said Megan was on drugs. Well, I already knew about that. Oh, is she still on drugs? She can't admit it on camera, is that right? Because what happened? Did my coach Tim, did he heal her? Okay, even though she went in for her hernia repair surgery. Is my coach claiming that he's the one that actually healed her? Did he pull Megan off of her pain medication early? Okay, did he say something like it's ungodly to take medication? Did he say that? Okay. We know it's ungodly to seek out a formalized education. We already know that he considers it to be ungodly. Okay. We do know that if he does not have his hand in it, then he considers it to be ungodly. Okay. He knows that we know that if Tim is not in it, then God ain't in it. AKA, and we know what that means. Okay. You heavy Tim followers, you guys are the only ones that don't know what that means. When Tim says, if God ain't in it, that means that Tim is excluded. He's persona non grata. No, thank you. Stay over there. Stay over there, Tim. All right. All right. So has he been up to anything else? Anything else? Nothing else? Okay. All right. Well, before I give my reaction to the recent IAG Farms video where Tim, my coach Tim, he talks about some honey-do list. Before I give my reaction to that, I have to recognize you guys that have been active in the comments. Keep that commentary going. Keep that dialogue flowing both ways. I would like to thank the Ready Tim writers. I would like to thank you guys, but you guys have been kind of quiet. You've been kind of quiet. There's been a few new heavies that have shown up, okay? And talking about things that we've already heard before. We've already heard that in the comments before. We've already heard about the jealousy. We've already heard the comments about touch not the anointed and touch not the chosen one. We've already gone through that. And so we know those are coming from the new heavies. But other than that, I haven't heard much from you Ready Tim writers, you woeful Tim worshipers. Okay? Stand up. Stand up. Get off your knees. Get off your knees and stand up so we can hear from you in the comments. All right? Get back to wilding in the comments. Because, as long as you guys are wilding, I'm going to keep on digressing. Welcome back to the end game. Where today I'm going to give my reaction to that recent IAG Farms video where Tim talks about completing some type of honey-do list as if these projects are a priority for Megan, okay? When we know they're a priority only for him. And when we say it's a priority for him, we mean that it's a priority for his content, okay? The only reason why he's tackling these projects is for content. We already know that, okay? For the sake of the YouTube, we already know that, okay? So don't blame it on Megan. Don't put it on Megan. Don't put it on Megan. But all right, before I give my reaction, I'm sorry. I already told you guys. I already thanked everybody for being in the comments. But I'm going to give my reaction to that video here. All right, Tim starts out the video with Tim being Tim. Oh my goodness. First of all, what grown man has a woman hold the door for him? What grown man? Okay. Certainly one of those boys that you're raising, that you're pushing into adulthood, certainly one of those boys could have held the door for my coach. But of course, this is part of the ultimate domination plan for my coach. Why in the world is Megan holding the door, holding the storm door open on the mobile home? Why is she holding the door open for Tim? I can only think of one explanation for that. That's part of the submission. That's part of the submission plan. It's part of the submission requirement. Okay, forget about the fact that she's still recovering, and she should be doing as little as possible. Even though the doctor said, well, make sure that you limit yourself to about 5 pounds. That does not mean that she should be going for 4.5 pounds or 4.8 pounds. Okay, she should. That's a max. Okay, and so she should be limiting herself. Limiting how much work she does. And so that was the first thing that I noticed. The second thing of note was Tim actually opened the raggedy old excursion door. He actually opened that raggedy old door for Megan. And I'm like, okay, first we go from Megan holding the storm door for Tim to Tim actually being a gentleman of sorts and him opening the door for Megan. Okay, now that was good to see for once, him doing something for Megan. Okay, I'm sure that was simply because he realized that he was filming. Okay, so he's like, okay, well, let me make sure I get some good stuff on film. Of course, it's been well documented that he has not showed much care or concern for Megan in her recovery. And even prior to her having the surgery, he hasn't shown much care for her. But he's like, well, let me open the door. Let me get it on. As long as I can get it on camera, then I'll open the door, Megan. Otherwise, you're on your own. But of course, Megan had to climb up into that raggedy excursion, which of course we regular folk, we realize that that's actually a strain on your body. Okay, actually having to try to climb up in there, pull yourself up in, that requires a certain amount of exertion on your core, on your belly, on your hernia. Okay, her climbing up in there, whether she uses the handles or not. Okay, and so we see that early on in the video, and we're like, okay, coach, I guess we have to take the bad with the good. Okay, I guess somehow, some kind of way they're going to balance out for us, coach. But what else, coach? What else?
Good. Ready? Come.
Once again, we're reminded of what it's like to truly live off the land, what it's like to be truly a homesteader. Okay, as we see that they're making a grocery run to the local Kroger. I'm like, okay, here we go. Oh, talk about all that not farm fresh food. Okay, on this immense grocery run, immense. And I'm like, okay, from what we've seen of their refrigerator, what we've seen of their freezers, where is all this food gonna go? Okay, we can only expect that it's gonna be crowded or cluttered into some corner of that sardine can of a mobile home. Okay, good gracious. Now Tim, he tries to imply that they went along with Megan so that she would not try to do any heavy lifting. And I'm like, okay, well, how about we go a step further? Why did you not go a step further, coach? Rather than you guys going along with Megan, why could not Tim, why couldn't you actually do the grocery run? Okay, men shop for groceries also. Maybe you didn't know that. Okay, is there something else that we don't know? Maybe you do not have a credit card. I'm not sure. Maybe you do not have a debit card, but you claim that you do everything in cash. Okay, and so why could you not have had your cash and gone and done the grocery run yourself, coach? Why did Megan have to get involved with it at all? All right. Why does she have to be on her feet at all when she could be resting? There's nothing wrong with her getting extra rest. And certainly if you took the boys with you, then Megan would have had some time to herself, some much needed individual personal time that she otherwise never gets. Okay. But also in this video, we see you getting so excited about these groceries. Okay, and we know that you're one for hoarding even more material assets. Okay, but now I guess you're starting to hoard groceries. Okay, you're hoarding groceries, Coach. Is that what it's come to? And you're all excited about how many bags of groceries you got. You're like a juvenile, like a kid, like a child, getting excited about the groceries. Okay, and I'm like, okay, Coach. Just about everybody buys groceries, Tim. What's the excitement about? Okay. Just about everybody prioritize after they take care of their living expenses. They take care of their groceries. Some of them take care of groceries first, okay? Because they realize that they have to feed themselves. If they don't feed themselves, it won't matter whether they have a roof over their head, I guess. Okay. So some people do it in reverse order, but everybody buys groceries. And you're talking about, well, we have our groceries stacked from the floor up to the ceiling of this raggedy old excursion. And you're so excited, you're cheesing, you're like, look at me, I'm getting those groceries, y'all. These not farm fresh groceries, by the way. But I'm so excited. And I'm like, well, where have we seen that level of excitement before? And I'm like, oh, that's right. That's right. When my coach and y'all's pastor was showing us his deep freezers full of meat, meat that they weren't sharing with anyone. He got so excited about that before. And I'm like, okay, Coach, everybody has stuff in their freezer. It runs low and you try to get some more. That's part of being a responsible adult, Coach. Okay. And it's like, well, you never bought any groceries before? You act like you never had any groceries before. Okay. There's been rumors in the comments that you're a person that hasn't had anything. And that's why you get all excited about trying to show off certain things that are just customary. For the rest of us, it's just customary. But I'm like, okay, now you're excited about the groceries. I mean, before you were excited about the meat in your freezer, and now you're excited about getting groceries. I'm like, okay, what's the big deal here? I don't really get it, Coach. Okay, but what else, Coach? What else?
Yep.
Oh man, she had coupon.
Strawberry flavored bottled water? Can you get some?
All right, y'all. We got this big grocery haul that Megan has ordered. We had to come with her, make sure she was safe, then pick up anything heavy.
Hey,
But,
you think we got enough groceries?
exactly. Yeah. Well, we got groceries back here, surrounding Benjamin on this side, and we also got a thing full of groceries back here, going all the way to the top of the roof, all the way to the bottom. And over here, we have a thing full of groceries as well. And Megan has all the bread up here with her.
Tim claims that Megan tried to pick up some bags of bread. And Tim being the good husband. Not so good husband. Tim being the husband that he is. He's not the husband. He's the master. Tim being the master that he is. Not just a master. Slave master. Tim being the slave master that he is. We know that what really happened was more likely to be that Tim was like, okay, grab those bags. And Megan was probably like, well, it might be too heavy. He's like, well, just check them. Just check them and see how heavy they are, Megan. Okay, but help me with these bags, Megan. And by help me, I mean you do the work. I'll jump in when need be. Megan, you go ahead and test the bag. If it feels like it's more than 5 pounds, then maybe I'll step in, Megan. So we're sure we understand that's how it went. You talk about the fact, that if she was lifting something over 5 pounds, it could be to Megan's detriment, of course, based upon the recommendation and the advice of her surgeon. But you jokingly implied that, if she's lifting heavy stuff, she might actually bust out some of her stitches. And you got a kick out of that, Coach. And I'm like, okay, Coach, some things we don't joke about, Coach. I mean, what is funny about Megan busting some stitches? She already went 2 years with that hernia. Okay, the pain and suffering associated with that untreated hernia. She already went a couple years with that, Coach. All right, and we won't even consider what type of pains in the back she has from being worked like a mule. Okay, and so she's already suffered. And so for you to joke about her stitches popping, that would obviously be excruciating pain for Megan. where is the comedy in pain? Okay, where is the comedy there? Okay, but for some reason, for one reason or another, you seem to find some type of joy in making negative comments about other folk. Okay, there's nothing funny about that. You talking about her being addicted? There's nothing funny about that either, Coach. Okay, and you talk about her in the one thumbnail. You talk about her cheating, and I'm like, okay, Coach, where's the positivity in that? Okay, I thought you were a P2P motivator. Okay, I thought you were a P2P inspirer. Okay, and so why so much negativity, Coach? Okay, I mean, we can only surmise that it's based upon your insecurity. Okay, you don't want Megan to get too comfortable in this rest stage, okay, because you know you need to put her back to work. We do understand on the one video, you were bragging about how many videos you're putting out now that you've included these trailers, these foolish trailers, this trailer trash that your woeful Tim worshipers, I guess they're eating it up. But you talk about how many videos you're actually publishing, and us experienced YouTubers, even us that have little experience, we understand that it's highly time consuming. And so for you to be focused on putting out that much content, doing that much filming, doing that much editing and posting, Coach, we understand fully where your time is dedicated. We understand. With that much focus on the videos, there will be little left for the boys in their development. There will be little left for Megan as your wife, okay? And there will be little left for this supposed farming, okay? All right, even if you convert the IAG farm to an IAG garden, there'll be little left time for that. And so, of course, Megan has to recover as quickly as possible so that she can tend to the garden, if you guys do pursue it at some point within the next 12 months. Okay, so that would leave little time for the farming or gardening, and of course, you being so dedicated to YouTubing, that would leave no time for ministry work, no time whatsoever. Okay, Coach. All right. So at some point, your Ready Tim Riders, they will get tired of being peed on. Okay, they're gonna get tired of turning their back on you, of trusting you, putting trust in your foolish ministry, supposed YouTube ministry, and turning their back and getting peed on. And you're telling them, don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back. It's just the rain. You guys know how I like the rain. You know how I enjoy the rain and being out in the rain, as goofy as it may appear. All right, but at some point, they're going to get tired of you peeing on their backs. That may be a long time off. It may be never. Okay, well, I guess for some of those heavy Tim followers, it may be never. So I guess you can continue to put the pee on their backs. Tell them it's raining. Tell them to close their mouth and cover their eyes, though, just in case you have some splash off. Okay? But eventually, I'll say there'll be many viewers that will realize that we're not getting any ministry here. And they're going to say, hey, we need to change the channel on this. We're not getting any ministry, and we're definitely not getting any entertainment. Okay? And we're not getting any DIY inspiration. Okay, and so they're like, okay, well, let me just change the channel on that, Coach. Okay, so make sure that you try to balance it out some kind of way, Coach. But with your focus on this YouTube thing, with your focus on trying to be innovative, and the translation of you being innovative is trying to find more ways to grab that money. Okay, reaching for new opportunities in order to line your pockets, in order to enrich yourself. And so as you continue to brainstorm on that, instead of brainstorming on your farm or brainstorming on your ministry or rejuvenating or resurrecting your resurrecting, how about that? Or spending time resurrecting your defunct ministry, your time is clearly focused on trying to keep your YouTube aspirations, keep those vibrant. Okay, Coach? But all right, we're watching. At least for the moment, we're watching, Coach.
And she was trying to pick up bread, and I was like, you can't be picking this stuff up. That's why I went here. I'm fussing at folks. She was like, it's just bread.
Yeah, can I please pick up? She was giving it to me so it wouldn't get smashed in the hall. So yeah, it's just like, it's just some bagels. Can I pick up?
We just gotta make sure.
You know, it's very light. It's only 15 ounces.
That
less than a pound.
That one bag can be more than 5 pounds.
Right,
you're on a 5 pound limit. You grab it, and then it's more than 5 pounds, and then, stitches start flying loose. Yeah.
All right. Shortly after that, I guess the guy says he's bringing some chicken, and they're almost done loading up the groceries. And he asked the boys, said, "What do you guys think about having groceries coming to the house?" Right? And although the boys should be the most excited of anyone because they are kids, instead of my coach being so excited about those groceries, considering that he's simply a big old kid. We would expect the boys to be excited. Clearly, they don't care. I won't say that they don't give a care, but they don't really care. But Timothy Jr. is the one that speaks out. Unfortunately, it's illegible. Okay, we can't really understand what he's saying. What is he talking about, Coach? All right. And so I guess Coach didn't get the response that he was hoping for, and so he quickly switched away. He's like, "Oh no, here we go. Another reminder of how our homeschooling is falling short. It's falling short, especially considering that Megan is in her recovery stages." And especially considering the fact that I'm not stepping in at all. They're not getting any of my GED education. Okay, I barely got my education. Okay, I'm not going to share. I can't spare a square of my knowledge with these boys. It's all on Megan. Okay, until she's fully recovered. Bear in mind, part of her recovery is mental recovery. Yes, and so it's not just physical. And so, although she's recovering physically, certainly that impacts her ability to design lessons, her ability to implement lessons for those boys. And so we see the boys continue to suffer with their education, continue to suffer with their literacy, their articulation. we see it. But Coach is like, "Oh, let me head this off. All right, what did you say? What did you say, Junior? You said, all right, let's switch it over here." But that's my coach for you.
Okay, thank you, bro. Even got more groceries coming.
Oh.
Pack of chicken.
Oh yeah, don't leave out my chicken.
What y'all think, boys?
They gave us vanilla wafers instead of graham crackers.
You, Chris. What do you think, Ben?
I didn't do myself.
Tim he jokes about driving this grumpy old lady around. I'm like, wait, yet another negative remark, yet another disparaging remark for Megan. Okay, forget about building up your spouse. Okay, but do you have to tear her down at every turn? Come on, Coach. Grumpy old lady. She's recovering. Okay. If she has some discomfort, it's to be expected. How does that make her grumpy? Okay, she's recovering from surgery. Okay, but you talk about the fact that the boys had to go with Megan, and now earlier you told us that Megan, of course, is the one that ordered the groceries. And so now, if she ordered the groceries, all you needed at that point was someone to pick up the groceries. Okay, and so how come you couldn't just hop your big old self up into that raggedy old excursion, take a couple of the boys with you, maybe take all the boys with you, leave little Benjamin with Megan, maybe leave little Benjamin with Megan, and then go ahead and pick up those groceries on your own, Coach? Why did you have to drag Megan with you? Coach? Please explain that one to us. What about you guys? You foolish Tim Faithful, explain that one to us. Why did he have to drag Megan out of the house, considering that she already ordered the groceries and it was simply going to be a pickup? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right, y'all, get back to the house. We had to bring Megan out to do groceries because she is on restriction. She can drive and everything, and they load the groceries here. But I wasn't sure, like I say, what the situation would be. So I didn't want to take any chances. So me and the boy went ahead and loaded up. And I came on and helped Megan do groceries. What's up? What you think, Megan? You think we did a good job?
You did a great job. Thank you for helping me and coming and driving me. He driving Miss Daisy around.
There you go.
I'm like, I can drive.
Driving this grumpy lady around who want to lift bags or groceries. No, she can't lift anything.
It was just free.
Yeah. All right, y'all, get back to the house. Get all the stuff unloaded.
Of course, Tim puts Megan to work with the camera, considering that she's not supposed to be lifting any of the groceries as they're unloading. And Megan reiterates the fact that she's not allowed to lift anything over 5 pounds. Okay. Okay. So what do you mean she's not allowed to? Has Megan been programmed that heavily, that heavily, that she would want to risk her hernia recovery? She would want to risk those staples. Okay, has she been programmed that heavily that she would want to do it? Such that you have to supposedly step in and say, Megan, don't lift it. Don't risk your health, Megan. Okay, Megan, 2 years of suffering is enough, Megan. All right. And I need to get you back on the work. I need to get you back to the farm as soon as possible, Megan. As soon as possible. Okay. So don't touch anything, Megan. All right. We can only imagine that's actually how it went. And so they talk about that. Of course, Tim chimes in because, of course, he's listening. Of course, he's listening to the footage, and he chimes in with the fact that you guys hear that she's not allowed. She's not allowed to lift anything. And I'm like, okay, well, Megan says, well, they want me to heal up. And I'm like, well, it's not just the doctors that want you to heal up. Megan, you should want yourself to heal up properly. Okay. Since when does the woman have to do all the sacrificing around the house? Okay, if anything, your husband should be sacrificing of himself. Okay, so what do you mean? Okay, well, the doctors want me to heal up properly. Megan, you should want to heal up for yourself so that you can live a normal life. Okay, we get the examples. We understand. All right, we definitely understand what's going on here. We do understand that during your respite, we do understand that you're going to be working that camera, Megan. We do understand it. All right. In addition to babysitting, playing with and nurturing little Benjamin, in addition to that stuff, aside from the homeschooling, Megan, we know that you're going to be operating that camera. Okay. You're going to be walking around, even though you could be in the house off of your feet, getting even extra rest time. How about extra rest time? We know that my coach and y'all's pastor, he gets as much rest, as much sleep, as many naps as he wants. Okay. And so how about Megan getting some extra rest time? All right. And how about her not picking up that camera? Okay. You have these boys that you're training to be men. You're trying to tell me not one of those boys/men could operate that camera? You're telling me Timothy Jr. cannot operate that camera? Okay, if he cannot operate a camera, if a 10-year-old boy cannot operate a cell phone camera, then he's got some issues. He's got some other issues that we're not aware of to this point. Okay? He's got some other issues, Coach. And those issues will require a little bit more attention / a lot more attention on your part. Okay? You probably would want to take a little bit of time, a little bit of focus away from the YouTube and put more time on Timothy Jr. If Timothy Jr. cannot operate that camera, he's going to need more attention. He's going to need more focus. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
They have to unload them all. I can't pick up anything. Well, I can probably pick up the bread and bring it inside, but I am not allowed to pick up any grocery bags or bring any groceries in because Tim was just like, I want to make sure you're not lifting over 5 pounds, and you never know when you pick up the bag how heavy it is. So
that's right. She said she's not allowed to do it. That's right.
No, but of course, you know that they're saying that because they are, wanting me to heal up well and everything after my surgery. And I am. And they've been doing a great job of helping me and doing all the things that I can't do and I can't lift. So it's awesome. And Tim is going to probably do a material run later on, but we'll see once they get all the groceries.
She's working me.
Once they get all the groceries in, we'll see.
We gotta hurry up and get all this healing stuff out of the way. She working me, got me doing groceries, taking it to the store, and then she gonna put me out there and put me on top of the roof, working on her APP, amazing poultry pen.
This man, you could not tie him down and make him not work. I have seen.
You can. Listen, you can.
I have seen.
I go take a nap. I don't mind.
You do rest, but I have seen him have strep throat and go.
A little bit later, Tim gives a shout out to the reaction channels, because clearly he's not getting any of his own comments. He gives a shout out to the reaction channels and the viewers and the subscribers for the reaction channels when he talks about, You guys claim that all I do is sit around and do YouTube videos. You guys claim that I'm lazy. Okay, but clearly, even though I propped Megan up to give me this on-camera validation, confirmation, affirmation, even though I propped her up to give this pre-scripted dialogue about how much work I put in when I'm sick, okay? I do get my rest. I do get my naps in. I do get my naps in. Let's not joke about that, Megan. We can joke about other stuff, but we won't joke about the naps that I get in. But he kind of confirms the fact that obviously he's in with the comments. And obviously he's letting a little bit out the bag. He's acknowledging that he is lazy. Okay, he's not just implied that he's lazy. Because every now and now, generally speaking, if you're in good health, you're only sick, I don't know, a handful of times per year. And so Megan's talking about these handful of times where he's gone out and chopped wood or what have you. And so what about the other 200 or so days out of the year, Coach, where all you're doing is the YouTube? What about those days, Coach? Okay, it's nice of you to focus. Nice of you to try to accentuate those few instances where you actually do some work around the farm. It's nice for you to have Megan focus on it. Yes, okay, or Megan could be a willing co-conspirator in this particular narrative. But okay, Coach, we're listening. We're listening.
Out and like split a cord of wood. I'm like, what are you doing?
Megan made me do it.
I did not. I'm like, what are you doing? You have strep throat. And he's out there. You remember that? You had the strep. And you,
Oh yeah.
and you out there splitting wood. I'm like,
My mentality was I was gonna sweat it out, you know. It's like that's the old folks remedy for colds, strep throat,
Yep.
broken bones. Just go sweat it out, you know. Ain't nothing that a little bit of sweat can't heal.
he don't have exactly in the middle of the summer.
You remember the time I almost broke my ankle and I was doing firewood?
You were doing firewood then too. I think he likes it's some things that we consider hard work that he actually likes to do. So it's just
you know I don't do nothing. You know I don't do nothing but sit around and make YouTube videos. I'm lazy. Ain't that what they think?
but groceries is probably not on that list.
After Tim shows us, he tells us he's going to do some work on the poultry pen today. He shows us a little bit of footage of the ducks wallowing in the one wading pool that I guess Grandma Lily bought one of them and Megan bought the other one. I'm like, okay, why is Grandma Lily buying anything, anything for IAG? Okay, it really should be the other way around. If you're supposedly blessing Grandma Lily, okay. Her being the employee of IAG/Resurrection Ranch. Why is she buying? When does an employee have to buy things for their employer? Okay, Coach, we do understand that you have no experience with working a 9-to-5 job. Okay, you have no experience with being a professional. Okay, but employees do not buy things for their employer. It doesn't work that way. It does. Okay. And so why is she buying? We know that she was spraying the weeds on the driveway. We know that she caulked up that shed. We know that she has some gutter work on your mobile home up and coming. We know that she spread out the wood chips in for the poultry pen. But why in the world is she buying items for the IAG? Well, how does that fit into that woeful contract that you had her sign? Okay, how is that in there? But anyway. So after that, after you showed us a little bit of footage of that, you talk about how you're going to use Old Faithful. You're going to fire up Old Faithful so that you can go work on the pen. And you talk about, well, Old Faithful has never failed us. He has never failed us. And I'm like, okay, Tim, it's a piece of machinery. It's a piece of equipment. It's a raggedy old piece of equipment. Okay. And so here we go again with attaching some type of human qualities to material objects. What do you mean it's God that has never failed, folks? What do you mean Old Faithful? So I know you heard that term faithful as you rattled it off and you think, okay, we're talking about God. And so you're talking about he has never failed me. And okay, Old Faithful, okay. Old Faithful is a truck and that's it. Okay. We do understand that you have no friends. We do understand that you have no associates. Okay. We do understand that you have very few contractor acquaintances, okay? But good gracious, making friends of your material items, okay? Giving them names and calling them he and she. calling them he and she, coach. Oh, good gracious, coach. I guess we can't help but have sympathy for you. All right. You have to have someone to talk to. Oh my goodness.
All right, y'all, so we got all the groceries unloaded and put inside of the house. I got the excursion parked back on the driveway on Rooster, and the boys are helping Megan get all the groceries put away. The boys are pretty much putting all the groceries away, and Megan's just telling them where to put it at. But I'm headed out because Megan wants me to get a roof on top of the APP, the amazing poultry pen, and because it's time for our ducks to go to freezer camp, and our chickens and turkeys, they're too big for the brooder, and so it's time to get them out into the poultry pen. And so I'm gonna crank up Old Faithful over here. He been sitting for a while. We're gonna see if he gonna crank good for us. But Old Faithful, he never lets us down. But I'm gonna go ahead and get an Old Faithful crank up, and I'm gonna head. First, I have some
I'm sorry, guys. I had to skip over all, most, if not all, of that poultry pen roof work. I had to skip over because it was goofy. I couldn't watch. It was hard to watch. Let's not forget the fact that Ernest, the Shed Shack, is still incomplete. Okay, it's still open to the elements. It's still not protected to the weather, protected from the weather. And so now you're gonna put a roof on this goofy poultry pen. I'm like, okay, coach. You put a roof on it, you're still gonna get water that gets into that pen. You're still gonna get rain that, if you get any rain, that's sideways rain. Or you get the wind blowing while it's raining, you're still going to get rain inside there. So what purpose would a roof serve on an open cage, an open pen, open dog kennels? What purpose would that really serve, coach? Other than for it to be content, coach. So I tried to fast forward through most, if not all of that. All right. I try to pick it up in a couple of moments. We'll see what we got.
the peak, and then 8 foot going that way, and that's the size of a piece of OSB. So I should just be able to put one piece of OSB up there, and I have some extra of those brackets, so I'm gonna drill 4 holes, a hole in each corner, and then I'm gonna take the extra bracket and then use a kind of similar to this, and I'm gonna use a bracket, and I'm gonna bring that bolt down through the top of that OSB, and then put a bracket on the bottom of the thing here to kind of wedge it, and then screw it down, and that should hold the OSB. And then once I get the OSB up there, then I can just screw the tin, get the tin cut to size, and screw the tin into the OSB. And like I say, that way, if we ever want to move it or ever want to take it down or do something, we could just unscrew the tin and then unscrew the OSB, and it won't actually be screwed into the frame of the actual chicken coop or poultry pen, and so we won't be compromising the metal. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I got my OSB here, and the rain is trying to come down on me, but it seems as if it's gonna hold up. It's just kind of sprinkling right now, so that's just making it feel good out here. As long as
Tim, after he does some work out there on the pen, he heads back to the mobile home and try to get some confirmation, try to get some encouragement for his ego from Megan. He talks about how he's been out there in the range, supposedly trying to finish. He's like, well, I must really love you, okay? Rather than saying, I love you, which, of course, some viewers have noticed has been absent for years. They've noticed there's been no affection displayed for years. There's been a little bit that's cropped up from time to time, only due to the reaction channels and the viewers and the comments in those areas. But he talks about, I must love you, not I love you, but I must love you because I'm out there in the rain. and we know that when he says I must love you, he really means I must love YouTube, aka I must love this money. And Megan, of course, Megan's like, well, I know you love the money. Okay, I know you love the YouTube. Okay, all right. Forget about the fact that the love of money is the root of all evil. But he's like, Megan, I love this money because I'm out here in the rain trying to get this content. All right, we're not going to let the weather interfere with my pockets. All right, but he comments about the fact that Benjamin is on the mat, laying on the mat like the kindergartners at the public school. And I'm like, okay, coach, kindergarten doesn't start until you're 5, maybe 4, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. It doesn't start. And I know you're accelerating and pushing those boys through their childhood. We do understand that you're supposedly trying to raise men. But little Benjamin is only a year old. He's not 5 yet. Okay, all right. So he's just a toddler laying down on the rug. All right, that's all he's doing right now. Okay, he's not a kindergartner. At least not by traditional educational standards. By your standard, though, there's no telling what grade he's in. There's no telling. But you drag Megan away from her nurturing, her spending time with Benjamin. You drag her out to, I guess you drag her out to take a look at the poultry pen that Megan truly cares less about. Okay, she could care less about it. She does care less about it. All right. And then you go about, I guess, helping out a little bit with Benjamin. And you go, of course, you cannot put down the camera. You can't put it on a tripod. And so you go about trying to pick up little Benjamin with one hand. And I'm not sure who it was most uncomfortable for. Okay, was it most uncomfortable for Benjamin because he was being grappled by one arm? Okay, was it more uncomfortable for you because you were trying to pick him up and balance and got the camera and you're trying to pick him up? And was it more uncomfortable for you, or was it most uncomfortable for Megan as she watched in horror? Okay, as you picked up her baby, her prized baby, her honey child, as you attempted to pick him up with one hand, which means that you could have dropped him at any moment. Okay, so we could see the horror on Megan's face. But anything for that content, anything for that YouTube, anything for that pocket, and getting it lined with those tips, gifts, and donations. Anything, Coach? Yeah. Anything.
Feel like you having fun taking his nap today.
Yeah.
What you doing, bud?
Can't get up.
It's like kindergarten, you know, at public school. Lay on the mat. Mm-hmm. Yep. Benjamin. How you doing, bud? He like you having fun. He like, what are we doing?
Sleep.
Exactly.
He's not asleep, but he's fighting it to the bed.
Well, I must really love you, because I stayed out in the rain while it was pouring down raining, working on the roof of your chicken coop, your amazing poultry pen.
Oh, lay down. Lay down.
Them said, we gotta go ahead and look at this roof, though. Literally, the roof is almost it is halfway done.
Okay.
I got all the OSB up there, and I'm ready to go on with the metal roofing.
Okay.
So it's all bolted down and everything, ready to roll. Hey, you might not want to come too close to me. I suddenly came in with my chicken coop boots on. All right, Ben, I guess I got to carry you out.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah. What was that, Ben?
Right here.
I carry him out.
Okay.
Come on, bud. Let's go. Let's roll.
Come on, you can come on.
Let's go look at this amazing poultry pen. Come on, bud. Let's go on up there. There we go. All right. After you.
All right.
Shortly thereafter, we see Chris Rock. I mean Megan. We see Megan. Megan. I'm sorry. It was a Freudian. He said when she's not looking like Bob the Builder, she's looking like Chris Rock. Oh man. Is that what they say? Who says that? The camera does not lie? The video does not lie? Okay, well, Megan. A little bit later, we see Megan operating the camera, okay, in order to get those shots that my coach Tim could have gotten on his own, okay? If he wanted himself, Benjamin and Megan in the shots, he could have managed that himself, whether it be on tripod or whether it be him reaching out his big old arm. He could have captured those shots, but instead he put it on Megan. Okay, and bear in mind that balancing that camera actually takes some exertion. Okay, when you got that camera, you're holding it out to the side, what have you. You're actually straining. Okay, that requires some work from your core. Okay, that actually requires some core work, aka stomach work. Okay, let alone working on your shoulders, let alone straining your shoulders. Okay. But he put Megan to work. He said, Megan, you're out here for a reason. Okay, and it's really not to look at the roof. You're really out here to do the filming. All right, so get up out here. And I'm like, okay, that's my coach. That's my coach. But all right. I can't take any more. I really can't take any more.
Important is that the turkeys and the chickens have covering. So we'll be able to move in turkeys and chickens.
And my plan for how I was going to attach the OSB worked out. You remember I said I was going to do it with a boat coming down and a shackle underneath. And just hugged it against the foundation of the metal poultry pen that was already there. And so that's locked in. And all I got to do now is come in and cut some pieces of tin and then just screw them down. So,
sounds great.
Yeah, it should be pretty quick. Like I said, it's going pretty quick. And I was telling them that I've been trying to get to this project for about 2 or 3 weeks. But everything else has become priority over this. But now we're finally getting to this because we need to butcher our ducks to send them to freezer camp so we can get the chickens and the turkeys out here. Because I don't know if y'all saw that video, but we tested the turkeys to see if we could put them out here with the ducks. And as soon as we put a turkey in, the ducks started attacking them. And so we got to get the ducks out first because they're so much bigger than the chickens and the turkeys because they're meat ducks, jumbo pecan ducks, I believe it is. That's it. And so we need to get them out of there first and then get the chickens and the turkeys in there. But it's coming together good so far. And so
it looks great.
I think I'm gonna keep going. I know the camera make it look like I'm way back there.
You're just gonna have to come to me.
Exactly, yeah. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to go ahead and put the 10 up there today or if I want to wait till another day.
I got you.
I got plenty of daylight. I'm already wet and I already got rained on, so I might as well just keep on going, huh?
Might as well.
Get it done.
Might as well.
That's it for my reaction to that recent IAG Farms video where Tim talks about completing some type of honey-do list. Okay, and if it was truly a honey-do list, we know it would involve him doing some actual work and not just accumulating content. Okay, and oh, by the way, we saw the roof on this poultry pen. We saw that, about 2-3 weeks ago in the P2P Nodcast. We saw it a long time ago. We already knew the roof was on there, Coach. Okay, and so you still haven't given a good explanation for why we're getting this content 3 to 4 weeks after the fact. Okay, Coach? Still not getting a good explanation for it. Now, you admitted that the duck video, the poultry video, you taking the ducks to freezer camp or what have you. You admitted that it's going to take a few weeks for us to see those videos. All right. And then later you said, well, it's going to be, I'm a week and a half behind. Like, okay, Coach, you already admitted that it's going to be 3 weeks out. And we know that with your struggles with arithmetic, if you say 3 weeks, that means you're at least 4 weeks behind, Coach. All right. So I just hope that your faithful Tim followers are not sending you emails talking about stuff they've seen on the videos yesterday, as if it's anywhere near real time. Okay, you're talking about old, stale content. All right, a lot of things have happened since that video was taped. A lot of things have happened. Okay, since you saw it, a lot of things have happened. All right, but I can't take no more. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Chop it up in the comments. Burner Tim, new heavies, old heavies. I'll meet you guys there. I want to shoot out some love to my current subscribers. Thank you for showing me that ultimate YouTube love. I do appreciate it. For those viewers that have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing so that we can continue to shine that light. Until next time.